Hi, I'm Jason McAteer and you're watching the Redmen TV.
Hello, welcome to Transfer Daily on Monday, 18th of January. I had that absolutely spot on first take, and then we had to cut because Tom fucked the audio up. Anyway, we're here to talk about the big Liverpool news stories around the transfer market today. I've got a Liverpool echo, mainly because I just... we had one job! Yeah, I don't even really want to read anything from the Echo. Three big stories that we're going to be discussing today is Shane Long. Yes, apparently we've got a bid rejected for him. Jamie Vardy and Joe Allen. I'll do that in reverse order because, well, actually, no, I'm just going to mix it up and just stay tuned and you'll see which order I've done it in. I'll do Joe Allen first because let's get it out the way. Joe Allen reportedly being linked with a move back to Swansea City. Obviously, John Joe Shelvey has moved to Newcastle. The story in the Echo, or at least on the Echo website, is that the chairman's looking to fill that John Joe Shelvey hole in the midfield, and he's going to fill it with the wee boy that is Joe Allen. I'm interested in people's thoughts on that because the last few performances he's put in for Liverpool have been good enough. And look, let's not go overboard, but good enough to be a Liverpool player as far as I'm concerned. You know, he set up a goal, he scored a very important goal coming off the bench as well, adding that kind of dimension. You know, if you're going to bring players into a game, you want them to have an impact, and Joe Allen's been doing that of late. And you know, is he good enough to start? Maybe. I guess we'll see. But I guess the question is, can we cover his absence? It's going to be interesting with the FA Cup this week. I think we're going to see Chris is currently stressing out trying to do a starting 11 prediction for the Exeter game. Be interested to see who plays in the midfield in that. Do we give Stewart and Brannigan another go? And if one of them is able to step up, then I'd like one of them two to be like our fourth choice centre mid, you know, or maybe an option off the bench. But if they're not at that level, I see no harm in keeping Joe Allen for the rest of the season and then looking what your options are in the summer. Because if he keeps putting in little performances here and there like that, there'll be people who want to take him. And frankly, from a personal perspective, I hope he looks at the newspaper today and thinks, fuck going back to Swansea. You know, what kind of career is that? He should be looking... There's nothing wrong with Swansea apart from the fact that they're going to get relegated. But you know, he as from a professional development, there's no really bigger clubs than Liverpool per se to go to. But he shouldn't. If he's going to take a step down, you don't want to go back. I think he should be looking to move to another good Premier League club, and I think another good level Premier League club would be a fine move for someone like Joe. I'm not sure who, but again, open to suggestions in the comments. What kind of club do you think Joe Allen would work best at and should be targeting? If you're happy with him going back to Swansea, then do that as well. But I'd be more saddened to see him go now than I was 2 weeks ago. But you see that with players sometimes, maybe they do step the game up when they know they're either on the way out or they're angling for a move. Xabi Alonso did it in his last season as well. People remember him really, really fondly because he was tremendous. But his last season, when he knew he was going to Real Madrid at the end of it, that was his best season in the Liverpool shirt. We move on then. Another piece of, I think, utter transfer bollocks of the day. Jamie Vardy's been linked with a £25 million move. 25. Tom, ridiculous. Shit. You said it right. Absolutely ludicrous amount of money for Jamie Vardy. He's 29 years old. That's... Now, okay, I was about to say that's the kind of thing Man United would do, but the last time Man United did something like that, it was Robin van Persie, and he won them the league. That being said, Jamie Vardy's not as good as Robin van Persie. He feels to me like, and I've said this on numerous occasions, he is that we have those players in the Premier League every single season that they have. They just trailblaze for half a season. They get through like the sort of Christmas period. They pick up an injury or two. They lose a little bit of form, and they never regain that. And normally that is the point where we sign them, a la Andy Carroll. Look, you could do loads worse than signing Jamie Vardy, particularly, you know, in terms of us wanting to be more direct. We saw it again, time and time against Man United, just trying to play early balls over the top. If Origi's fit, it's not an issue. If Danny Sturridge is fit, it's not an issue. If Danny Ings is fit, it's not an issue. But if you've only got Benteke to do that, it's not going to happen. And if you've got, and Firmino does it to a certain extent, but it's not a natural thing to him. So I don't disagree with like what Vardy is. He's a kick and rush kind of player, you know, booted, you know, like Ian Rush at times, although he was a lot classier. I don't mind us getting someone who's got loads of pace and just likes running in behind and scoring goals. We could do worse. But £25 million for Jamie Vardy, nah, not having that. So it takes us on to the big news story of the day that Liverpool apparently had an £8 million bid for Shane Long rejected. Now it won't be out now, which is annoying because I would have looked really prescient. But we did the final word show last night after Arsenal, and I said, I think we should be moving for someone like Shane Long. If Shane Long's available, go for him. And again, I can imagine most people go, fuck off, Shane Long. Because I can't sit here and slag Jamie Vardy off when he's the joint top goal scorer in the Premier League. And, you know, Shane Long's 28, he's about to be 29 next week. So they're thereabouts in the same age bracket. What's the difference? Well, apparently about £15 million by the looks of it. But also, yeah, I mean... Yeah, I don't know. Really, again, I think it comes down to the money. If you could get Jamie Vardy for £10 million, I'd get Jamie Vardy. I'd have no problem with buying Jamie Vardy for £10 million. I think he'd do a job in the short term, and then you probably move him on in the summer. Or if he's that good, you keep him for another season, then move him on. You might lose a couple of million, but it's been a fine stopgap solution. I think Shane Long's got that, but he doesn't really have the goal return. All of that being said, he scored, let me just get this right, he started 9 Premier League games for Southampton, which is more than I expected. He's made 11 starts in total, scored 7 goals with 1 assist. I think he's actually got 8 goals. I think he's actually got something like, I think he's got 8 goals in total this season, because he scored 1 in the qualifying rounds of the Europa League as well. So it's actually, in all competitions, I think Benteke's our top goal scorer on 7 at the moment. What Long's got that Benteke doesn't have is more natural work rate. He puts himself around a lot more. He does a lot of the hard yards. Now, I know we've got a lot of these players already, but again, in terms of just the stopgap solution, a backup for Firmino, because at the minute, Firmino's the only one fit who suits our system in terms of, you know, getting around, dropping in and out, doing what needs to be done. And we're also, but I don't think that's his, obviously it's not his best position. He would improve if we could drop Firmino back and do if we had Danny Ings available, just Danny Ings, we'd be a much better side, I think, for it. And I think Long is in the Danny Ings mould, albeit older and more experienced. Not exceptional, not going to set hearts racing, not going to get your pulse going, but right here and now, for a short-term solution, I think we could do a lot worse than Shane Long, just my opinion. But again, you're not going to be rushing to the shop to get his name on the back of your shirt. Who cares, man? Because if he comes in and scores 5 or 6 goals between now and the end of the season, or, you know, we pick up an injury to Firmino and he's able to come in and be a centre forward, then we've improved the squad and we've given ourselves a much better chance of success, but not abject failure this season. So maybe there's better options. I'd be interested in your thoughts. You know who else we should be targeting? I haven't got a fucking clue. Maybe there'll be another link tomorrow that will tell us more about that. But 8 million rejected. It'd be interesting to know how high would you go for Long. I would be thinking, I think 8 sounded perfect to me. Maybe there's something that we can do around that. But if we have to go as high as 10, if there's a problem that needs sorting, I'd rather just go out and sort it. It's not overcommitting finances. Again, it's not a particularly exciting signing, but it's a practical solution to a problem that we have, and that's the way I'm looking at it at the moment. Anyway, keep smiling. Let us know your thoughts on anything we've discussed in the comments below. Check out Transfer Weekly. It's going to be up on Wednesday this week. We're discussing this and any other breaking news that happens in loads more depth and detail. The final word shows up now for the Man United game. It was really good. It was about 40-odd minutes, I think, and loads more upbeat than I expected to be. Very entertaining watch. Go and check it out now. The redmentv.com, completely free for a month. Just go, start your 3-month trial. Enjoy it. If you don't enjoy it, then there's probably something wrong with you, and there's nothing I can do about that. But if you do like it, there's probably also something wrong with you, and it's £2 a month, so enjoy. Anyway, thanks for watching. Ta-ra. Don't know what I'm clapping.
No!
Yes. In terms of...
Who was it? Jimmy Milner again? He's on fire.